Mothers of ISIS is an article written by Yulia Yaffa that tells the story of 4 European mothers who lost their children to jihad and radical Islam. The main point of the article is to portray mothers not as failed parents, but people who carry the burden of losing someone dear to them. I have chosen this article as I am interested in Middle Eastern history, politics and culture. I'm contemplating converting to Islam, and I had the opportunity to become friends with those whose families are directly affected by Daesh. As I was scrolling through different articles, I focused more on the pieces that touch upon topics related to my interests. Therefore, the observation selection bias was involved in my selection process. The negativity bias also played a role, as more extreme and violent events captured my attention first. On the other hand, the author was a part of the group of journalists who were invited by President Obama to take part in his de-radicalization campaign, which indicates that the author herself is not free of bias, as she might have some hidden agenda. Those biases influenced both my reading of the text and the author's writing. I had the difficulty of portraying the sons of protagonists as someone more than a criminal. The way the story develops is crucial to our understanding of the text. The story is divided into 4 sub-stories of different mothers. While the first story is presented, the audience focus is concentrated on 2 people, a mother and a son. As the story develops, we discover that mothers know each other well and are great support to each other. The atmosphere created by the author is very intimate, as we can see in this quote here. Yaffa learns from one of the mothers that she lost more than one child while both are smoking cigarettes in protagonist's house. This setting suggests that the 2 are no longer solely a journalist and the subject to each other. The author presents facts to her best knowledge as she uses fragments from chats that are not edited and adds a video created independently to support her point. However, by making a choice of including pictures of both adults, here's the movie and here are the snippets, and by making a choice of including pictures of both adult and childhood pictures of son, the author puts the audience in the shoes of mothers who perceive those men as their little boys, as we can see here. That viewpoint skews the interpretation of the readers who start seeing those men as children, not dangerous terrorists. The choice of the artist is also worth attention. One particular quote that I'm going to show here merges the imagery of journalism with culinary imagery, which creates an impression that even if mothers want to move forward in their lives, they're pulled back in by the journalists who remind them about the past. The targeted audience of the piece is international, as it is translated. The whole article is translated into 7 languages. Proof to this can be found here. In order to understand the context of the piece, I decided to ask myself 3 questions. First of all, why ISIS and not other organizations are the ones that lure children? Why is it so easy to join ISIS? And why ISIS targets EU citizens? The article in the Business Insider provided me with an answer to the first question. Tazkiyah, which is the invitation by one of the members, is eliminated from ISIS recruitment process. On the other hand, Daily Mail wrote about radical preachers in the EU hired specifically to target Western audiences as part of marketing strategy of ISIS, propaganda videos in Western languages, and the importance of social media in communicating with Western audiences. The third question was answered by that short quote from the International Center for Study of Radicalization of Political Violence. We believe that even a small attack in Dar al-Kufr, the land of the unbeliever, is better than a big attack in Syria. As a last contextual piece of information, I would like to bring the attention back to the author. I have already provided a piece of information most relevant to the article, namely the fact that Yaffa was a member of Obama's anti-radicalization campaign. In addition to that, she was a Moscow-born Jew and a foreign correspondent in Russia.